Welcome to Beyond the Box.
Our guests are insiders that are now out and on our side, dropping nuclear intel and breaking it down just for you.
And now it's time to introduce our hosts, Brenda Lankridge and Suzanne Haunt. Join us and subscribe for weekly shows. Beyond the Box begins now. Let's jump in.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Beyond the Box. Susie's running a little behind. I do have Andy is with us tonight. Rocco's backstage. I do have an announcement to make though, however, Denise, Norma. We won't be doing a show tomorrow night. I will be doing a show, Susie and I will be doing a show at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We have a special guest author, also a survivor. She lives in England, so she has children, so we went ahead and moved the show tomorrow for her, so we will be doing that. Yay. So hello everybody and welcome. Got that announcement out of the way, and I still do not see Susie. Oh, wait a minute. Yep, I sure do. Look at there, Susie.
I've been here the whole time.
Oh, were you? I didn't see you in there.
I'm like texting you. I'm here.
Oh, is that why my phone was going off?
Yeah.
Well then.
Oh,
shoot.
Lord. I'm trying.
How's your day been?
I've been tired because I was, you knew I was doing some carpentry work today, so putting in some wood flooring. Yeah.
I don't know where you get it. You get out there and you mess with the horses and you goof around with the cows and you go build things and all that stuff.
Speaking of horses, I counted 4 of the mares are about to have babies any minute. So yeah.
Oh no, we got new babies.
Right.
Woohoo!
So, I'm excited.
Right? Did you get your papers yet after you got that letter?
You know what? I told you I called the American Quarter Horse Association and I told that girl, whoever did this, you need to fire them,
Right.
I'm like, I get a I like literally get, I've been trying to register that mare for a year. I send paper in, and they send me a paper from a year ago and they should have been sending me my papers, and I'm like, just fire them, and the girl's like, I agree. She goes, today's my last day because I'm leaving, but I'm printing we're getting your papers printed right now. Like, I love you, thank you.
You're like, it's about time. I mean, it's only been a year.
I know. It's like, I have 2 babies I have to register, so they're holding me up, so
right.
More registers, oh my God.
Well,
and I'm not the only one that has problems, Brenda, with American Quarter Horse Association. It's kind of, like Doug told you, and a lot of people, it's a difficult situation. All you're asking for is a genealogy of a horse, and you're paying them quite a bit of money to get it done. And then it's just a problem for a lot of people. So it's tough. What can I say?
Well, Norma
says, why do you have to register them? They're American quarter horses. So this is people want to know, just like your genealogy on people, they want to know the genealogy of the horse. And a lot of times people were saying that this horse was out of this stallion, and they were cheating people and taking their money and breeding into different stallions. So people want to know that if you're gonna like take your mare to a breeder and breed your mare, you want to make sure that that's the stallion you just paid, all that money to breed to. It's not some other Joe Blow stallion. So they have to have DNA now on the mares, the stallions, and the babies to prove that's their parents. I mean, I think they should do that with all humans, right, Brenda? Like we should all know who we belong to or came from.
We all know who we belong to.
Right?
Right? So I am going to go ahead and, oh my God, what did I push?
We got to say a prayer real quick, okay?
Oh, yes, please do. Yes.
A hectic day. Okay, and also I want to say a prayer for Penny Bradley because she said she's been being ill for quite a while, and yeah, so I just want to ask Jesus to send some healing over there to her, and help her get back on track and get back to normal again. So and then pray for everybody in our audience that's watching us. If anybody's going through any sicknesses or illnesses, I pray healing for their bodies as well. And not we just me and Brenda are here to bring awareness to the people and to help people. So we ask also that Jesus go and bring healing in their bodies if they need it. And so that's our prayer for tonight. In Jesus' name, I pray.
I do not know why we are not streaming on Rumble right now. God, this irritates me. Okay, here we go, guys. let me bring out Andy.
Hey.
Hello,
Thank you,
Andy.
Denise. Yes.
Yeah, Andy had some stuff going on in his town that kind of went sideways today.
Well, no, it was
so,
the state cut several cities away.
well,
What?
yeah. Yeah. They
What's
had a
going
school
on?
shooting.
School shooting.
Yeah.
What? In your town, Andy?
No,
A
no.
couple towns over.
One town
Yeah.
over? You guys got a
About
lot
an
of.
hour or so away.
How many
They got a
hours?
lot of stuff going on.
About
Andy,
an
you need
hour.
to move. Tell
Oh,
your mom
wow.
and dad you need to move. Come move to Texas.
School
You can come
shooting.
hang out with us.
So
Oh,
what do you
Lord.
know about it, Andy? What do you know about the shooting? What do you have? Information do you have?
Just that the victim died at the hospital.
Oh, child, adult.
Yep. 15
Child.
years old.
Was it a victim or the shooter?
The victim died. The shooter's in police custody.
Okay. How old is the shooter?
16.
Was
Yeah.
it a targeted situation
Uh-huh.
or random
Yep.
targeted?
Yep.
Oh, we have a lot of targeted people, Randy, on our show. So sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We've got Rocco sitting in the wings. I think he's had coffee and he should be awake now.
Okay.
What do you think, Rocco? You awake now?
Hey, Rocco.
Yeah, I'd say he's awake.
Oh man,
He's
Yeah.
smiling. Yeah. Well, I don't know. He could be like me. I laugh like crazy when I'm tired.
I've learned one thing, right? Is not everybody's gonna believe what you say. Not everybody's gonna like what you say. But when you're a public figure, you're writing a book. Your name is getting out there. People are gonna talk shit. So what?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Talk all the shit you want to talk.
Amen to that, Rocco.
Slide off my back from now on, because you don't mean nothing to me. People that don't think, that I'm a good dad or whatever, that's just a, thing for me. And I've also learned that I don't have to hit chat. So that way I don't have to see anything that you fucking say. So I can just sit here and tell my story and not even have a thought of you in my mind.
Hey, Rocco, you know what I heard someone say a long time ago about people like that? You always have to consider the source. So it's the source of who's saying those things. If they don't hold any value in your life, then you should hold no value in what they say. You should just let it just roll off, and
But
just,
that's why
yeah.
I've learned the tricks I've learned. You just don't even look at the chat. That's
Right.
it. And, certain people ruin that because some people want an answered question or they ask a question. That's fine. I'll let the host do that. But I'm not looking at the chat because I'm not getting myself, because they know my triggers. So I spoke with somebody, and which, by the way, I've had called the human
Rocco, before
spiritual.
you go any further, you said you know your triggers. Now, a lot of the audiences, listen, they do not understand the language of a targeted individual, or somebody who's gone through what you went through. They don't know what trigger
Or
means. Like when you
go,
said,
actually, because
yeah.
a
So
targeting individual never
explain trigger.
being targeted.
Explain trigger to people, what that means to you.
So when you get triggered, right, usually it can be like, with me, it'll be something about my children. It'll be something directed towards my child's mom. Other people might get triggered different ways, movies, songs. I always say, if you listen into a song when you're going to work and you're angry when you get to work after listening to that song, it's best you don't listen to that song again before you go to work. So it's kind of like feeling as well, And then I just laugh things off now. That's what I'm learning as well. See,
That's the best way.
last time you saw me, I obviously, after that whole freaking fiasco, which, by the way, nobody can purchase the t-shirts anymore. Bonfire was contacted, and everything is getting investigated from top to bottom. And whoever has used my social security number, I'm just warning you right now, you're under investigation. And you're looking at federal time. Federal.
So a trigger is when something is said that causes a reaction, and so basically you should just ignore whatever might trigger you, is what you're saying.
It's like me. Anytime anybody mentions
any tactic I've learned, there's tactics.
Yeah.
Don't even look at the chat. Just don't even turn the chat on, because then you don't see nothing they're saying.
That's right.
Yeah.
So they're like erased in my mind, in a sense. You understand? It's psionic.
Yeah, they're not there. Yeah.
Psionic abilities.
So now I'm gonna say this. I hear you got good news.
Excellent news. I started writing a book. Me, another friend of mine, Steve, and Christy Campbell. And I'll start off by giving you guys just a little bit of the book. First and foremost, it's MONTAUK Memoirs, Final Mission. It should be published, I'd say, no later than next month. It's like hours and hours and hours long, basic conversations that turned into experiences, and remembering these experiences, and also remembering. I mean, it's a very easy read, but it's definitely going to maybe trigger some people, because you're not going to like what you hear. And you might look at me and you might say, he's a fucking monster, when you're done reading the book. But you might also say, wow, because see, there's always the gift at the end of the book. See, that's how I look at it. You always leave a gift. And it's not a monetized, like money or anything like that. It's just maybe a message that people change. And there's something called redemption, which is one of the titles in my chapter, and one of the chapters titles, I believe, is redemption. So it's going to be a really good book. It explains a lot about MONTAUK in a different way, a way that I see it on a multi-dimensional level. And not everything you read in every book, there might be people who'll be like, okay, he's just trying to become famous. I'm not trying to become famous. I have been targeted since. You talk about Penny Bradley. You see what happens. The stuff is real. Stuff is real.
Yeah.
Okay. I've had Hawk helicopters, Black Hawk helicopters. But real quick, I'm going to read this manifesto, and then I'm going to get into a story where people are looking to get these beautiful crystals. Yes, they're charged up. I can feel the energy moving through my body right now. So if anything, and I also have my cork screw cell. There we go. Yeah, I can see the universe right through it, right inside of it. And I can also pull other dimensions through using this. I can also soul trap with this. So, yeah. And I won't hesitate to use that secret weapon. People are going to learn what psionics are, and people are going to learn respect. Okay.
So, okay, you're gonna read from your book. Is that what you're saying, Rocco?
Yeah, it's just a little excerpt.
Okay.
Okay. It's called the Manifesto. Okay, so after pulling an all-nighter writing this book, the manifesto of our mission came through. It was organic and very powerful. The words carry the hopes and dreams of those looking to break the bondage of corruption. The spirit of 1776 continues to reach the hearts of men and women who wish to be free. And here's the forward: Rocco's Manifesto, called to justice. I have been choked in my house through interdimensional portals. I feel these attacks because I am an interdimensional being. A man with dirty clothes and a foul smell is right next to me. This man looked at my face, and said, "He will kill me." The next morning I wake up, my SIM card is completely fried. I had to get a new phone. I am stirring the pot and I won't stop. I am committed to the truth. This is important work. It's about remaining strong and taking care of business. The truth sets you free. Dark individuals are constantly remote viewing me. I was over a friend's house and I couldn't breathe. I was being suffocated for my endeavors. I shielded my biofield and closed my field and closed my, hold on, I protected my bias. I closed my field in a protected bubble. Severing the cords that were trying to infiltrate me. This is no joke. You can all laugh and say I'm copying others. If you don't like what I have to say, you don't have to listen. I am a very loving and caring person. I am at 95% capacity of my psionic scale. I will put a grid to shield my eyes, or put a grid to shield myself from these attacks. I will burn through their eyes into the back of their heads. I give no permission to enter my space. Go away, you pedophile fucks. I have no respect for these men and what are truly doing. Preston Nichols, you have no right to enter my home. Preston is violating my privacy. You won't get me to turn back to the old me. Redemption has occurred, and I am past that time in my life. The truth will be coming out, and all this crap that has hit the fan. If you're going to test me, I have a good potion for you. Be ready for when you come around. Beware. You will feel fire around your body as it pumps into your existence. This is spiritual warfare. And this is what we are going through. We have to fight for our rights. This is the call for action. For all of us to come together and to finally break the system. We are growing into honorable men and women, and the energy is incredible. They do not have power over us anymore. Leave me alone and my friends that you go after. You will find out the hard way if this continues. Call me crazy. It doesn't bother me. I know who I am and what the redemption has done for me. I am hardened and ready to fight for the vision we have worked so hard for. Me, Steve, and Christy will break the system, and you won't stop us. Our message is pure and loving and brings the best in everyone around us. We are a force of love that will convert the hearts and minds of the entire world. I am the movement, and the fire burns within me. This is my manifesto.
Very good. You sent me the cover of the book. Did you want to put that out right now or no?
Yeah, sure, you can.
Hey, all right. Yay. Okay.
Wow, Rocco, you're quite a writer.
No, thanks to Steve. He's my ghostwriter. I just speak. I'm very good at, they took away that ability from me. Writing for me is...
Yeah?
Well, yeah, that's why I decided to work with Steve. But the energy, it's like, whoa, I'm just loving the energy for some reason. Like, I'll tell you what, where this story comes in. Anyway, yeah, so...
The cover of the book. Very nice. Very nice.
You got the Taurus, you got, which is me, my symbol, and then you have the wolf, which is Christy, and then you have the fire, which is the dragon, which is Steve, and then it's got your little Black Ops signature on it. So it's basically it's a final mission. We're trying. It's talking about us like. What I last remember. So it's.
Oh, very good. And you guys are almost done with that. Made really good time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very amazing. But what's really amazing is this emerald green, right? I started right before we started this book. We started talking about emerald green, my birthstone's emerald green. And somebody was just listening to my show, and I was telling them about, how my birthstone was emerald green, and they said, well, we have a couple of, I think these crystals, they might work well for you, which, by the way, I have to tell you right now, I am fully protected. I have what is called spiritual weapons, which shield off anything negative, ugly, disgusting, and I will get sense of it. And then if I give you a warning and I go, I'm going to give you 10 seconds, And see, when you have the ability to take your eyes and literally look into somebody's soul and them not have to be here, and you could burn through, they're gonna feel it. They're gonna feel, okay, I'm gonna feel this. What just hit me? Oh my goodness. Well, what just hit you is you were remote viewing me. I warned you. If you don't listen to the warning, take heed to the warning, then I'm gonna use my psionic abilities. I will say also, when I get very angry, I hope nobody got hurt that night out of your bunch, because I will be real with you. When you are charged or you are programmed like someone, myself, like my teacher, who's Sean Bond, he says, I try not to get angry. So what we do is we transmute the energy from a negative to a positive. And transmuting it to a negative to a positive is good for somebody else, because they might die from a heart attack. They might have heart palpitations. Now, I got very angry at one point at a guy, or not at him, but at something around me, and my anger spewed out. The guy walked down to the garbage can, and I find out he had a heart attack.
Now, Brent asked a question. He's one of our regular viewers. He wants to know what the psionics are. What are they?
Well, I mean, it's basically a term that is used for like military weapons with the mind. I could basically, like I said, I erased, like from the last show, I've erased people's names. There's psionics, there's tricks, there's, how you can end a story. You can, even if it's a negative ending, you can still turn it around and make it your own ending. It's teaching it's secret weapons, like very, 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 very secret weapons. I dealt with a lot of evil apex predators, other spirits, other altars, which caused me a lot of hell. Because I was not doing the correct healing. And since I've had these crystals, it's just my psychic abilities have been amped. Psionically, remote viewing, being able to activate people's DNA codes, being able to pretty much get in there and cleanse your consciousness, in a sense, in a psionic way. So like when I work with somebody, I always want to see their eyes. I always want to see their eyes. Because if I look into your eyes and I see black, I'm going to warn you, just get off of the camera. Go away. Don't contact me again. I know what you are. And by the way, those people that showed up at the door, I know the FBI trick. It's funny. It's really funny. It's really cute.
You like that? I liked it.
You were really,
I said, no, I don't understand. And you're asking the wrong person, and get off my doorstep.
What a silly question. I would have just.
I'm like, go watch the show. What the hell's wrong with you people?
Shut the door.
I shut the door in their face. I didn't.
Unfortunately, because right now we're in the midst of a spiritual battle that is truly, truly happening. And here's the other thing is, going on these missions and like I'll see a missing kid poster, and some of the things that happen is I go on these astral missions, or I go on these like interdimensional missions, or I enter my another clone, or and we go on other planets, and we cleanse and clear these bases and right before we leave. And some of these planets are not even in this universe. A lot of people get it mixed up, but multi-dimensional. Like I have been in other recreated Mars over and over and over again, and there have been different Mars. So these are planets beyond this universe. Most people don't make it past a certain level, spiritually. I had my Kundalini awakening, which really was pretty wild to say the least. But when I had this energy that came through my body, so it's back to the crystal. And it's very interesting because having these crystals around, it's like I'm shielded right now. Like you can go and I can go and just laugh. Like you're totally shielded out of me. You know what I mean? If you're on my shit list, you're on the other side of the wall. And if I let you in, I let you in. But you're not coming in anytime soon, especially if you've caused me a lot of pain. Because today I feel good about myself. Today I know I love myself. Today I know I can look in the mirror and say I love myself. And I am doing, God's work. We'll put it that way. Eventually we'll get into an episode about tortured teens. We'll talk about that eventually. I don't really want to talk about that. This month is my father's death anniversary. So
My mom's too.
My dad was murdered, and then the guy was allowed out in 7 years. So yeah, targeting can happen any kind of way. I mean, from shutting your electricity off to sending people to your homes. But that has not happened in a while. But back to this, because this is just so amazing. So I was doing a couple of radio shows, and this I call her like one of my angelic warriors, because when she messaged me, she said, I listened to you, and she was very, very interested in, what I had to say. She said, I think these will help you. And I thought, okay, she's going to just send me one. So she sends me 7 tower busters. Emerald green tower busters. And then the corks wall. So I did exactly what she told me to do. She said, take them, put them in warm water, charge them up really well. So I charged them up for, a good 20 minutes, I'd say. Put them in the window. And let me tell you what, it was not supposed to rain here. Nothing. But before all that happened, I had opened it up and actually touched these crystals. And it was interesting because when I touched these crystals, I started to get this vibration in my body. And I'm like, for a minute, I'm like, is this, and I'm questioning it. So I put them, I'm talking. Next thing you know, I get this message while I'm doing a live stream speaking about it. And they say, there's more, keep opening up. And this is another individual who actually happened to pack. And I mean, these came professionally packed. I mean, much love to those ladies because, they've helped me big time. And not only that, but it helped me because I ended up, basically picking up certain things like when you were a kid, you were into the Power Rangers, or when you were a kid, you were into Sailor Moon, or, you know, I picked these things up. So then this one girl, she had one of my, you know, one of the ladies, lovely ladies, one of them had a dream, and I literally spoke about how Project Ibis, I knew what it was. I identified it. I identified the fact that she was involved in the program. I also identified the fact that we did missions together. I picked up on certain areas where we were. I knew at a certain time, you know, later on, I'll talk about that in a little while. But it really, so I put these crystals in the window, right? Let them charge up. Now, it was not supposed to rain here at all. Let them charge up, let them charge up. I look out my window, and it starts to get, I look over the crystals, and this black cloud is moving in. And all of a sudden, 2, 3 loud cracks of thunder, and it starts pouring rain. Literally starts pouring rain. So the air, like at that point in time, I was like, yes, you know, like, wow, I can go out and breathe now, because like the air here, what they were spraying, whatever they were spraying, whatever they were doing, I mean, you could not leave your house, literally, without having a hard time breathing. Like, it was horrible. So it rained for like 4 days. 4 days it rained. And so I had my first dentist appointment, you know, to start that process, which that comes into why I say, you know, the God of my understanding, because I'm kind of in the ring with God. I'll keep it real. That's what I call it, being in the ring with him. It's just because of my childhood and what had happened to me, and that's just that. You know, I still believe in a God, but it's hard for me to go inside a church and hang around a bunch of people that I know are pedophile fucks, and that I know abuse children, and I know that their group homes and the figures and the type of people are Sunday morning Christians, is what I call them. Your good old Sunday morning Christians. I'm telling you, watch that series on tortured teens. Forced indoctrination. Forced feedings. Forced beatings. Forced restraints for not taking medications. And they were Christian-based. Made to write Bible verses for days on end in a room with no windows, locked away. Not fed correctly. Bread and water. And this is what the state allows? No, I'm sorry. But I don't. I mean, can you blame me for not wanting to be pissed? And then you have a governor of a state that signs a bill that says state and religious ran facilities. It's not going to happen anymore, and it sure as hell is happening still. Sure as hell still is happening. After a bill was signed, and that gentleman, Alan Knoll, has done a lot for the troubled teen industry. He's done a lot. He's the one who created part of that. I think he created that series with the, yeah. Like, he was not giving this information just to anybody. I mean, he went through it with Netflix. It took a very long time for that to come out. But those kids have been holding that in for a very long time. They wanted the world to know. And it ended up on #1 HBO playlist. I believe #1. But it was at like maybe a 3 or a 2 within like less than a week. Yeah. People are starting to wake up and realize don't send your kid to private schools. But with the crystal thing, wow, it's just so amazing, because when I had this experience, I was walking to the dentist. I was doing a live stream. It was pretty cool because it just had got done raining. So we get like these breezes. So the walk was pretty good. I mean, I literally made it a little bit over a 3-mile walk in like, I think it was like 30 minutes. Yeah. I just got up and went, but and I'm just listening to my music.
I swear to God, when I was in high school and we went for a field trip to Disneyland and somebody handed everybody out shrooms, we did a whole of Disneyland in like 15 minutes. All of Disneyland. So when you can do that quick,
it's like people are like and then you want to spread the love, you know what I mean? And people look at you like whoa. Well, they don't understand when you have this like, okay, so like it's interesting because, and I'm getting charged right now because I have 2 of them by me, and I feel more protected with them by me because. Crystals have a consciousness. They have a mind of their own. They're very powerful tools. So, I mean...
all right. I have to do something, Rocco, real quick. Do not turn your chat on. You promised me.
I'm not worried. I'm not
going to say this.
About that.
You guys that are in the chat right now, let me tell you something. Andy, as well as myself, we are both in wheelchairs. When he shuts his screen off, he's probably taking his meds or doing something. So lay off of Andy. That I won't tolerate. There is nothing on this world that'll piss me off more than that. And I swear to Christ, don't do it. Leave him alone. Okay, sorry about that. Go ahead. I feel better. I feel better. Go ahead.
Okay, so anyways, let me get back on track there. I'm not even
sorry, I had to.
We're talking about what you're talking about. I don't care. I don't who yeah.
Go ahead.
See, I have that trick. That's also a psionic trick. You can just
don't worry about it.
People. Yeah.
I just I tolerate so much and not a whole lot bothers me, but
Right.
Andy don't hurt nobody.
No.
And, so that I won't tolerate.
Mm-mm.
So yeah.
Yep. Anyway, so I'm walking to the store or to the dentist, and out of the blue, like I'm on a live, and all of a sudden there's vibrating going on in my feet, and I'm like, here we go, it's gonna happen. This like big Kundalini like awakening is gonna happen, or I'm gonna be able to see what I really want to see now, and. All of a sudden, energy just starts going up through my legs, and I'm already starting to envision an emerald green color swirling around near my Kundalini area, and I'm like, oh boy. So then it just completely gets into like my stomach, and then next thing you know, it shoots through my stomach and then shoots up and right through my crown chakra, and I'm fucking like, I feel like I'm floating, and I'm seeing all these different planets, and I'm seeing these different dimensions and stars, and it was just amazing. And I'm screaming at other people like, "Do you like to live in the Matrix?" Like I'm like and going wild with it. I'm like, I got the power. I'm like, I can do this, and. I'm gonna crush this. I'm gonna get into this, and then next thing you know, the book took off from there. It took off from there, and it's continuously I'm proud of myself because I've never done anything like this in my life. I've always been talking about doing it, but with trauma, it's very hard to do that and sustain, and especially when you start becoming more publicly, you know, aggressive. I'd use a word as far as, you know, just, you know, dealing with what you deal with, and next thing you know, it becomes more, and then it gets taken off the web, and then you learn, okay, well, you just leave it alone and you don't say anything, and it will save your ass, because then there's no ammunition. It's just me talking. But yeah, our brains are a quantum computer, so therefore, if our brains are a quantum computer, we are able to do a lot with our minds, and we just don't know it until we tap into it. And once we're able to tap into source, and once you tap into source, you start getting those source codes. And when you start getting those source codes, you start meditating more. You start, you know, if I'm angry, I'm going to go out somewhere deep in the woods and I'm just going to release it. I'm going to scream till I can't feel it. I can't scream anymore, where I have no voice. And then go home and, you know, set my crystals up a certain way and meditate, or, you know, envision things, or help other people, or, you know, and I've sent people energy. Like, it's been a lot. It's been different. The only thing that kind of got me a little was when, you know, because when I speak with certain individuals, shout out to Sean Bond in the Psionic League. Definitely, if you really want to know about psionics, go check Sean Bond out. And he's been through all the schools. I mean, there's a whole school in the Psionic League, like, where you learn, like, down to him. I think he helped somebody fix their teeth one time, naturally. Like, I mean, he's very scientific, so he's very spiritual. And every time I do a show with him, it's like, it's a wonderful feeling that I get. I don't get a bad feeling. I don't get nothing that is going to cause me problems. But yeah, I mean, psionics are cool. They're pretty cool.
I've not heard of that before. I mean, I've heard of different things. I know that I've been able to, you know, when I have reoccurring dreams, I can change them. But I never heard of doing anything like that. But you're the first. I can honestly say that.
Of doing what?
The psionics, when you talk about the psionics, I had never heard of those before.
Oh, well, it's just a hidden word under the military. I mean, you know, psionic weapons. I mean, what do you think they're hitting us with? I mean, why do you think people get hit with electromagnetic weapons and, you know, microwaves and all that stuff? That ties in with psionics as well. So it's, you know, but when you take somebody and you reprogram their mind to be able to do things that not the normal person is able to do because of their DNA. So another thing, for the guys out there that like women and, you know, think it's cool to just knock up a woman, well, let me tell you something. What you're doing is you're giving your kid away beforehand, because if you're involved in any of these programs, you have what is called patented nanonites in your DNA, which means if you have patent nanonites, you're going to end up passing that on to your child. So once that birth certificate is signed, your child is owned, and you should know you're already owned, you know, through the programs as well. So now your child is a target. Now your child is a target. Your child's a target. People will try to get your kids taken away from you. People will try to, you know, add themselves into your life when they have no business being in your life. You know, and they do that to the dad because what they're trying to do, or the mom in some cases, because the mother and the father have been involved in programs. So yeah, be careful with that, going around and just making babies to make babies, because you're basically, if you are involved in any of this stuff, or you think that you were involved in any of this stuff, make sure, definitely make sure. I was nervous when I first heard that, but I'm not too much anymore, because I know what I'm doing in my life, and it's not what is spread.
Brent wants to know what nanonites are.
It's just like a part of the DNA, something that's in the DNA that it's imprinted in it. So
It's not like the same stuff that they put in the squishy, right?
not sure on the whole deal. I'm just saying, look it up. You can look that up for sure. I would implore you to go listen to Drago Reed. He speaks a little bit about that. Drago Reed is very smart, very, very smart. He made me realize that, you know, I wasn't always just the victim. And when you realize that you're not just the victim and you played the bad guy role, you realize, okay, you know, that's where some of the trauma comes from too, is knowing if you hurt somebody. If you were in a program with somebody and you're sitting there with them on the internet, and you know that that was part of you, or was you, because in some instances people have said that they remember seeing actually the me that's sitting here in this chair right now. Now, how did that happen? I mean, I have brief memories of it, but I'm not going to continue to go under hypnosis. Not.
Right.
Once the egg is cracked, I don't think you really can crack it anymore.
So when you went through MK Ultra, right?
Yeah, MK Ultra.
And that was all part of that. And then what they did was they basically MK Ultra'd you into what you became for them, right?
Well, as a baby, I remember being abducted as a baby. I had my first encounter, which was at 3 years old, by 4 grays. They were standing in my mom's room. I was in between my mother and my father. I was right in the middle, and they were looking right at me. And from that point on, I remember not wanting to go to bed, in my own bed. I had night terrors, up until about, I'd say maybe way far into my teens almost, and then they just up and stopped. But yeah, I went to preschool on an air base, National Guard base in West Hampton Beach. And there is an underground facility there, with, you know, small rooms, also different types of trip chairs. I don't agree that there's only one MONTAUK chair. Why would they make all that money and then just up and decide to just drop that project, when I'm hearing now that the supposed new MONTAUK project is in New Orleans? So I am definitely into investigating that for sure. hopefully I'll be able to get together with a few people and we'll be able to do that and see what's going on there.
Right. So let's see, you guys are almost done with the book, and then once you get it done and it gets published, and you're going to put it out, are you guys going to put it out like as soon as it's done getting published, or are you going to hold on to it for a little while before it goes out?
Well, we are using, I'm not going to put out the name on here. I don't need any more lawsuits pending. It's already, but you know, the payday is going to be lovely. I can tell you that right now. You don't put on a t-shirt, and I also got horribly rude with the t-shirt company. I demanded that the person be fired that put my face on a t-shirt without my signature.
Oh, your face was on it?
Or I'm coming after your company, and I'm coming after everything you have. I'm coming after it all. I said, because there's several allegations. I'm on a shirt by the name of Grinder. They had me on. Now, there were campaigners out there. There were people campaigning this stuff. Like seriously, campaigning this stuff.
Wow. Well, Susie,
but that's what trash does. That's what septic tank garbage on this planet does. That's why this planet is the way it is. But you see, when Judgment Day really comes, like Terminator, I feel sorry when we have the say of everything. When the galactic courts get involved and there is no mercy. You don't get 1 or 2 days in jail or 7 days. You don't get a slap on the wrist. No, you do this on another planet. No, it's like the old days. It's like they don't tolerate that. You're done. You violate anybody, their rules. Part of the reason why we have problems with the ETs, why we do, is because of the way we use their technology. And then we also go up and we infiltrate their space. Why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? Because we are told to do that. If we don't do that, then we get punished. And sometimes we go on missions just because, that's what we decide to do when we go in the astral. And we go on, to rescue kids. That's what it's mainly about, is this generation and the generations that go on, that we could break past this bondage of chains. That's why the 1776 was added in there. You understand? So it's like if you type, I think it's Roccos Manifesto into Gematria. It comes up the Great Awakening. It comes up all different kinds of things. Like it's really crazy. And what I can manifest with my mind is really crazy too. So now Grindr won't stop messaging me, by the way. I got one of them.
That is.
But I got one of them. They called me and they said it. I'll say it right here. I don't care. They said, please, we'll take what we're going to. I said, take them down now. I said, now. I said, if I could reach my hand through this phone right now and grab you by the fucking throat, I said I would. I said, did I give you permission? Did you see my fucking John Hancock written on a piece of paper? No, you didn't. No, you didn't, you dummies. I said, so now you just bought yourself a ticket to a courtroom, or you can have the stuff removed now. And she went in and had it all removed. I said, number one, you violated me putting me on shirts being a transvestite when I'm not. So my sexual, you know what I mean? That right there was violated because I'm a straight man, okay? And I have 2 beautiful little girls. And yeah, I'm proud to say it today because I'm a good dad today, no matter what anyone says.
Okay, Rocco, we're going to go ahead and take our 5-minute break. I need to get something to drink. I need a shot. Oh, I'm gonna get something to drink. Susie, you need coffee refill, right?
Shot for
Yeah.
me.
Right.
Coffee refill.
All right, everybody, hang out and we'll be back in 5 minutes.
Brenda.
Yeah.
And Rocco, I wanted to say a few words before we start. One of the things that, I think where we're coming from is a lot of what Rocco's been telling us is, it's like a lot of us, we all have a past that we're not proud of, or we all have a past that we've, decided that, for various reasons, we're taking a different path. So by being honest and open and telling the ugly part of that story is part of our healing, is part of our way of saying, hey, this is what I did. And it's not hiding it. Like, a lot of people who have done terrible things, they would never talk about what they've done. They've never admit that they were wrong. They'd never, because if you can't admit what you've done, then, you can't ask for forgiveness. You can't be honest. You can't be truthful. So you have to, it's nasty, it's ugly, but you put it out there in a way that you admit that this is what I did. And then, you say that was then, and, hey, I'm sorry. This happened, whatever. For whatever reasons, whether it was your choice or somebody else's forced it on you or whatever, it didn't matter, but it was still a bad life. And then now you're moving forward. And so this is what, like, when me being a Christian, my whole thing is, God, I say, God, you know what? I messed up, or God, I did wrong, or God, I did some bad things in my past. Okay. I did things that I wish I hadn't done. I was pretty naive, stupid, whatever you want to call it, lost, confused. I was lost. Now I'm found. But, there is a thing, what you said, redemption, and there is redemption. There is salvation. My boss was 100 years old when he got baptized. Okay. 100. And he said he believed that salvation is for everyone, period. Anyone and everyone, salvation. Okay. You can turn it around at any point in time. He didn't turn it around till he was 100. And believe me, the man was a womanizer. He did a lot of things, and he knew he called it a colorful life, is the way you put it.
Yes.
But
yes. Perfect.
But
perfectly put.
He at 100, at 99, he accepted Jesus. At 100, he got baptized. He lived to be 101 and a half, and he always said, I don't know why I'm living so long, and he felt like if he ever got saved, then he could go home. God was going to keep him alive until he got his life right. So some of us go through bad stuff, and then we can turn it around. We can get on the right path, and we can start correcting those things that we did wrong. And so now we got to work out our own salvation. Yeah, there is repercussions to what we did. There is karma for what we did. We know that. But you know what? We can try to fix it. We could try to do better. We could try to help other people. That we can work it out between us and God. And so with that, Rocco, and that's what I hear you saying all the time. I hear you saying, hey, I'm this person, I did this, I did that, and you don't just sit there and hide all that stuff. You're very open about it, okay? And
Tell
so
you right now, I was abusive. I mean, when I was in these programs, the teenager version of me in these programs was not a nice guy.
I stay quiet, Susie, because I can honestly say on the other end of this, because of the abuse that I was put through, and it was by a family member and then somebody else, that I have a hard time with the forgiveness. You know that. You know what I just went through. But I think that I appreciate that person's honesty about things that when I was drugged and don't remember what happened. I think that I have to say that I appreciate the honesty. Will I ever forgive him? I don't know. I mean, I will because I have to. Because if I don't, eventually, then all that does is eat me up inside. And I don't need to live like that. So eventually, yes, I will forgive. Never forget, but always forgive. So I can honestly say, coming from the opposite side of that spectrum, that it's, it's a hard thing, when people go through stuff like that. And Rocco, I understand that when they talk to you now and they know, and, the way that you must feel. And it's hard on both sides, really. It is. So, I mean, I'm still.
Well, I don't have any problems with hardly anybody in the community. The only people I have problems with are the ones that I'm trying to keep erased. So let's not even go there, because that's a whole nother ball game. That's like you with the respecting, you understand, and not wanting to forgive, but you have to forgive. And I've forgiven them already, but I have not forgotten. You understand? There's a difference. There's a difference. And they have done a lot to me. We're talking about having my mother thinking that I was doing methamphetamines, my kid's mom thinking I was high on meth, not allowing me to see my children. Now, was I acting crazy? At that time, yes. But my child's mom knows what I do now. In the sense of, I am doing better now. I see my kids now. So, I have nothing to worry about. And I'm saying it calmly. I'm not saying it loud. I'm not screaming. I'm not getting triggered. It doesn't bother me anymore. They could say all they want to say. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never fucking hurt me. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I'm rugged. I'm rugged now. I'm a real true underdog. Okay? In the sense of, I'm going to fight to get to where I need to get in my life. I'm going to fight to where I need to get. All this love, light, blah, 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 blah bullshit is all out the fucking window. Okay? It's spiritual warfare we're in the midst of right now. And if we don't have each other's backs, well, sayonara when the world ends. I can tell you that right now. And I can also tell you there's a lot coming to this world that people are not ready for, that I've already envisioned years ago. Years ago. I envisioned people dividing at this point in time where we are right now. Back in 2014, I had visions of people fighting. I remember the episode of Simpsons with Trump and all that stuff. I remember this stuff, and it's all playing out right now. It's all playing out right now.
Well, I know that if the United States doesn't get any better soon, I'm moving to Russia. I'll come back later when it's fixed. I just can't do this shit no more.
I agree.
This stuff is crazy that's going on.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's this world is so controlled by 5G. This world is controlled by satellites. Viva license plates. I mean, they have satellites that can pick up right on your license plate number. I mean,
Flower, thank you.
It's very sad. It's very sad.
No, I mean,
and
honestly, this world's ran by Satanism, and it has been for decades. And I had somebody tell me one time, "Oh, well, the Catholic religion is the biggest religion in the world." I said, "No, it's not." I said, "Satanism is." And it's sad. It's sad that it is.
Yep.
And once you give that up, you ain't getting it back. You go ahead and you give up to Satanism, it's a long, hard road to get it back. That's all there is to it.
That's right.
But yeah, it's a sad, sad world we're living in.
This right here, actually, also these I've noticed, if you just keep it in your hand and just squeeze on it a little bit tight, like not real tight, but like it keeps me chill, mellow. Like I look, as far as I'm concerned, I've erased that out of my. It's out of my quantum computer, but I will fight for everyone's rights. I will fight for people's rights. I will die on enemy lines. I chose this life before I came into this vessel. That's not in this book, but trust me, you're going to get why I feel the way I do about myself at times when you read this book. And when you read sections where you're going to see pictures of drawings that, I actually drew. Shout out to Christy Campbell for all the artwork and your testimony. Much love. And Steve, Steve doing an excellent job with the writing. It's like helping one another. That's what this is what we call a triangular effect. That's why you got the Taurus, like I said, you got the wolf, and then you got the fire at top. Okay, so you got signs. So they're all linking together because we're all having recalled memories together. So when you start to have recalled memories with another person, you get close with that person. You start talking like me and Steve on a daily basis. And I'm trying to explain to people that Steve is not crazy. Steve lives, he's literally went through all these crazy dimensions. You talk about shrooms and stuff. Like some people take it to an excess level because that's where they're pushed. That's what I mean. When you go beyond a certain spiritual level, like, of spirituality, you're going beyond the dimension, like it's beyond. I mean, Archangel Michael, I still call on him all the time. And come swooping in. And there's a comfort there, honestly. And also with psionics is if you're dealing with, let's say, an altar, we'll put an altar out there, and they're coming into your dwelling. Now, I've had this happen. What I do is I set up a psionic playpen because most altars are what? Younger. So when an altar is younger, it comes to you like a kid. So I have an altar in my home by the name of Raylene, who Danny, which was my altar in MONTAUK, that's where all that took place. That's in the book as well. You'll read about that in the book as well. This is not a book, I'm telling you folks, that where you're going to just sit in there and, it gets sexual, it gets open. All right, it's a book that I don't want kids to get their hands on. Just put it that way. It's not. You're not just gonna jump in and read like. This is what I mean with Steve. Maybe Steve saw things differently than other people have seen things. But hey, if I'm connecting with somebody and I feel the connection there, I'm gonna stand up for the person. If I see a clone of, let's say, Susie, 4 clones, and she abused me, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna come back and tell her. Oh, yeah, hell yeah, I'm going to be real. And if she don't believe me, oh, well. You know what I mean? And if she wants to get upset because I feel like that, but I'm still her friend here in this, you understand, this 3D, right? I'm just explaining something from where maybe another dimension or another timeline or something else, maybe. That has happened too. And, I think that people have seen that. And, even with me at one point, it was crazy. I would wear a mask because I didn't, at one point, I was so nervous to talk about this stuff. I was so nervous to talk about it. Like, I didn't know where to start. I mean, I've been in it since 2014. I think I was on Revolution Radio one time, Freedom Slips. I was on Bases. I was on a couple of different shows. I mean, I got triggered to the point where I almost went and, did something. So, and I didn't even remember what I said on the show. That's the wild part. I didn't even remember what I said on the show. Like, I totally altered out and said that I was told to do this, this, and this when I was on a ship, or it was something, or in a base, or it was something. So I know about where the satanic part of this stuff, is. I just try my best to veer away from it. But sometimes it comes in. It comes in because it's part of the programming, unfortunately.
So, so have you guys talked about not only just this book, have you talked about trying to do any others?
I believe he's going to do one with his recalls with Christy, and then we're going to pick back up, and we're going to do a longer version of possibly just my experience from 2014 on into where we are right now. This is a span of 1 month. We're talking on the internet for hours, just going back and forth, memory recalls, staying up, night after night. He's seen me disappear right in front of my laptop. Like, it disappeared, and her screen, like her type of screen, popped up on my monitor. He said, yeah, and I just totally poof. I was gone. I was just gone, and that's when I woke up and I found out that, like Drago say, I mean, putting it in straight up perspective is like not leaving out any detail as much as possible. It's gory, it's ugly, it's scary, it's creepy. It's do I ever want to talk to this guy after I read this? And then, and knowing that it's because my name is written in it, and I wanted my name written. Some people be like, no. Yes. I want people to understand that I know who I am. And the reason why I'm putting this out there is so people start to wake up. That's why we're putting it out. That's why the idea is there. That's why, things I don't believe in how things just like, interestingly enough, Rob's show, The Typical Skeptic, is a very interesting what happens on his show. You never know. You might go on there and somebody might contact you, and that might lead to another thing, and then another thing, and then another thing. And I have people that remember me doing these things. And I have to sit there and listen to them say it directly to me.
Have you been in contact with Brian at all, Rocco? I know Brian's been a big support of you for,
Um,
you know.
Brian's been very busy lately too. I've noticed.
Yeah.
A lot of us have been busy. I actually did a show with Arkeem, um, and I had a spiritual attack from Preston Nichols the other night. I seen him in all, and he grabbed me by my throat. I couldn't breathe, and it's partly in the book. And he told me he was gonna, yeah, yeah, pretty
You
creepy.
had an experience with
2
Preston
nights
in a
in a row.
dream?
No, I woke. I was awake. I
Oh.
saw him, but I couldn't touch him. So
Oh,
it was
okay.
like it still got me a little, you know, like why, and what we believe is because he couldn't get to Arkeem, it came my way.
Well, I can tell you a little story. I've had many situations where I would be like praying for somebody, and the demon that was on them, they would get mad and come after me, and then I'd have to battle that demon, and it personally would appear to me, and yeah. So and if it can't get to you, then it will actually go after everybody you care about, loved ones, friends. It's like it goes out on a mission. This demon does, and it has to accomplish what it wants. So it attacks. If it can't get to the main person, it goes after the closest thing to it. So yeah, what you're saying is very true.
But I do believe it is Preston Nichols' spirit. I really do, because we're at a cracking point now. If you understand, like, if
Yes,
you
yes.
notice, Montauk has been a huge topic the last, I'd say, what, a couple of years now, and it's getting even bigger. I mean, everybody's talking Stranger Things. No, 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 no. When you read
Rocco, could
the
you
book,
could you tell me
when
a
you
little
read
bit
my
about?
book, I don't even want to. I don't even want to even. It's not even close to what. I mean, a little bit, but no, no. You're gonna see what teens slash teachers are taught to do
Rocco, could you
mentally.
tell me a little bit about? Well, you're saying that MONTAUK is still going on, right? And they're
Oh,
still
or
doing,
New Orleans,
huh?
New Orleans.
In New Orleans and where,
I'm not
like
giving
what?
the location.
Oh, okay. Just
I'm not.
saying they're in New Orleans. Okay.
Yep. A lot of people know, but it's one of those things that haven't really gotten, I don't think, too mainstream, and I want it to. I want people to start. If this is going on still you know what I mean? This is what needs to be spoken about. This is what, like, because that word Montauk is, you understand, it's coming up enough to where it's like, okay, well, if it's not happening there, but there is stuff happening there. There's portals open there. There's all kinds of stuff open there. And I'm going to go out there with a crystal dagger, selenite, and I'm going to go right to the circle, the big circle, I call it, like a UFO landing pad, and I'm going to jam it right in there and see what happens. But I'm going to go with somebody that's going to be, his name's Christopher S. Jacobs. He does show the lifting. I will be probably to pre-record, so we're going to do it in November. I'll probably be the holiday episode. So, and that's another thing. That was a relationship where I found out that there was a handler involved. And, oh, by the way, if you guys want to know, and you want to know, you got to become my friend. I'm sorry, I don't put that as a public post. I'm sorry. So if you want to be that, you got to come on Facebook and see my friends, or become my friend, and then you can see what my handler looks like. And yeah, we're talking about some like Lifetime type horror type stuff, like how she goes from one type person to another type person. And I'm sure you've seen it, Brenda. And she's got my picture still on her page. And if you're out there, please take my picture off of your page. I will stand against handlers. I will stand against, this dark magic. I will stand against people doing stuff negative. I'm telling you. I am well protected now, and even more protected now, and I don't lose a wink of sleep anymore, because see, the problem is I was living in YouTube world, but once I hit that leave button, that's it. Good night, folks. That's it. I don't get on there and do 8-hour, 9-hour, 10-hour lives anymore on YouTube.
Oh, good Lord.
There's no, yeah, but I did that because I was just building up for my own, to have my own information. You understand these videos? But these are all new videos. These are not the shit that's being played out there that YouTube needs to take down as well. Like, I mean, come on. It's horrible what they're allowing on YouTube. And
I have 4.5, if not longer, shows tomorrow, and I'm already tired just thinking about that. 8 hours. Rocco.
Well, no, I mean, this is what I'm talking about with the book. This is where when you get into this talk about missions and experiences, and the clock, first of all, don't even mean shit to me anymore. Like, it doesn't. Seriously. Like, I know I'm going to be up the whole night because I slept half the day. So, I already know that. But I have learned how to just listen to music, meditate my mind, work on my abilities. If I'm going to do something, a protective ritual or whatever it is, sometimes I do that. Put on some real meditative music, something that's, going to get my mind out of this world, basically. Or sometimes I'll just listen to Pearl Jam or, Metallica or whatever, and just go to town. That's it.
Don't get a dog. My dog, it must be nice to sleep all the time. After I'm asleep for a few hours, my dog is like in my face, waking me up.
Can't imagine.
He wakes me up just so he can go to sleep. I don't even understand. He's 5 pounds. He sleeps on my pillow. What difference does it make?
Yeah, mine, we had to end up getting rid of it. Went after one of my children. So I gave it to somebody, and then they ended up doing something silly, and I ended up having to, vet at my house.
I already own property in Arizona. Thank you. Sorry, go ahead.
At the pound, a pound comes to me and tells me that, yeah, your dog, and I give it to somebody who wanted it. And the guy was a nice guy, and, next thing you know, I guess he couldn't handle it, and it got out, and the pound got it, and I said, look, I cannot have it. I don't have the money right now, and honestly, I gave it to that gentleman. I said, if anything, I'll take the dog back, but I have it, if it's going to attack my children or try to, I just can't. I think the owner might not have been too smart. The previous.
Oh, my goodness, what happened to you? I don't think this thing can attack your children.
No, no. I had a small pit bull. Small. It wasn't that big. I don't think. Yeah, no, she wasn't that big. No. But all up in my face thing too. Yeah. But would bite at my face, and I was like, no, I can't have that. I can't. No.
Oh, no, yeah, you don't. How old was that dog when you got it?
It was a puppy.
Oh.
But I don't think they were treated nicely when they were like before they were.
Yeah, probably not.
No. A matter of fact, yeah, I never would get an animal from that person again. Ever. Because, you know, the people that just get animals to just get them, like, that's pretty much what she would do. Or she'd have a litter and then just want to get rid of them, like, and sometimes too young, way too young.
I don't know.
And my apartment complex, the dog got out, and of course where I live, people are just sometimes, you got nosy people. And of course I'm a targeted individual, so there's going to be somebody nosy.
Yeah.
The first week I came to Missouri, I had a Black Hawks flying over. Yeah.
Well, I live next to a base, so that happens all the time.
Well, I mean, these are like, they belong in Afghanistan type helicopters, is what I'm saying. Like, that they don't belong in a residential area at all. Not at it's definitely high enough where I can see inside, like, and see who the person is, or see a face, or that's happened. South Carolina, that happened a lot. I was so eager to get out of there.
You weren't nowhere near a base?
Not that close. And the heights that they were flying was not, it was definitely illegal. It was very illegal.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I lived in a trailer, and they would, like, at the height they'd come sometimes would be, where the trailer would be like shaking.
I was going to say, because I know here, I mean, they travel, they go other places, because we have so many bases here in Texas anyways, that, they're always up on.
Yeah, but still a residential area. You know what I mean?
The Chinooks are huge.
But these things would go on and over. Like, they'd come and go like four times in a row at times. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I know somebody had told me, I was talking to somebody that said that every time they talked to you on the phone, that was always happening.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I don't know, happens here too. But like I said, I can throw a stone at the base that I live next to. I'm so close to them. I hear their their choppers just starting up. They're so loud.
Annoying. I hate that sound. And then if you get it at 3:00 in the morning, that's really bad.
See, it doesn't bother me. What bothers me is when I don't hear them out in the field training, and shooting things off and all that stuff, when I don't hear them for a long time, that's when I get worried. But we're so used to it that we're used to the windows rattling and everything else because, you know, they're pretty bad. Hey, Susie.
Hey.
There's something I want to, she said, hey, something I want to show you. I got something. I got a different, hang on, let me try to find it. I got a different background thing here. Are you ready for it? You ready?
Okay.
Watch this, Rocco. Okay. Kind of matches Grandpa with the ice cream. Sorry, I just had to show you that because, you know, I hadn't showed you it yet. I was going to put it on today, but I decided,
So, Rocco, what do you think we should do about all these this targeting and problems? You know, I mean, what is your take on that?
Well, see, the problem is if people are going to just stay fighting, right, and arguing, especially when it comes to the community, in a whole, you know, as a whole, you know, we got to work together and not against each other. But unfortunately, there's some people that just won't even, you know, it's kind of like, you know, like the call to action. Perfect name, call to action. It's basically what I'm saying is it feels that way because when you're really taking on these missions and you're remembering these things and you're able to, you know, we have to make sure that people are aware of this stuff, and it's got to be broadcasted, and, you know, others have to come together, but unfortunately there's people that are getting really heavily targeted. I mean, you know, protection is definitely, you know, it's kind of like one of these things where you got to go through all of these trials and tribulations to get to where others are at, where they can actually speak about this stuff. And because for a while there, I wasn't. I'd already be screaming halfway through the episode. Hey, what's the sense in that? It's just racket. That's all it is. So once you learn,
I mean, look what happened to Max Spears. You know that story, right?
Do I? Do I? Yeah. We're not gonna go there. Yeah. Because I will tell you now, there are a lot of MONTAUK people I do not like, as far as the old school programmers, like Swerdlow. It's almost like, yeah, I just no, because those people, even when it was quote unquote over, those people would act like horrible on the outside of that base in the 90s, living in Long Island. I mean, Preston lived with his dad out on Long Island. I mean, he had his own little basement apartment, so he had his own little deprogramming area. Why not invite a bunch of boys and girls over? And tell them stories. He was a horrible man. That's what he was. And a lot of people know about it, but they don't want to talk about it. And that's the problem.
That is a big problem in this country anyways.
Is the truth, it needs to come out. I mean, look at Hollywood. Look at all of these things that are going on. with music and subliminal messages and the colors and, the satanic ritual, abuse right there that is going on. I didn't get to listen to that episode with the SRA yet that you guys had on.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I didn't. I got to check that out.
We're going to have Christine Joe Hart from England. She interviewed Max and was friends with Max, and she's going to be on tomorrow at 3 in the afternoon.
Okay. All right. Oh, no, that was somebody else that spoke at the conference. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, because she was in England.
Yeah, no, well, Carrie Cassidy.
Oh, okay. We will not talk about Cassidy. Yeah, I can't go there.
No, I'm just, I got the.
Isn't that right, Susie?
Right?
Yeah.
So what time? 4?
We're going to do it at 3 in the afternoon tomorrow because she lives in England. So she's 6 hours later. So it'll be 9 o'clock there in England.
The time zones, that doing shows like that are pretty wild. Hopefully Tommy will end up showing up.
I don't know. He might still be working. He's been working on the weekends, but
he's been working like crazy.
I got to make sure that I have him next Friday, because the girl that's coming on next Friday, she knows him, so she feels more comfortable. So she asked me if he can interview her, and I said sure, that wouldn't be a problem. So, yep. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, Christine Jahart, she's a journalist that is from England, United States, and has covered a lot of stuff, and she's very informed about a lot of stuff. She's really good. So.
Yeah, so Max, yeah.
Yeah, her and Max were very close. Yeah.
I spoke to him a couple of times.
Yeah, I talked to him like 30 days before he died. Tried to warn him that he was in danger. But he wouldn't listen to me, so,
Well, none of us do. We have
none of us do. Hard-headed.
Well, it's not that. It's Max knew the truth.
Well, Max said he had to do the program, so he was, he said he couldn't avoid it, so he was doing some stuff in the spiritual realm, and that got him killed. Yeah.
I don't know.
We signed up for this. A lot of us signed up for this stuff. A lot of us did. Before we entered this body, we knew.
Every time he says that, it makes me think of that. What's her name?
Like a soul contract, yeah.
Linda. Every time he says when they enter this body, it makes me think of Linda. It pops in my head. It's like, stop saying that, Rocco. Find a different way to say that, Rocco. Because that woman, I'm telling you, man, she's a walk-in. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I met Max Spears back in 2016, and I texted him and because he said he was a high priest in Atlantis, and I asked him if he died in a cave in Atlantis, and he's like, "How did you know that?" And he said he was a time traveler and he had to time travel, and I told him he couldn't go back in the cave because the high priest was going to kill him. And he said, "Who's the high priest?" I said, "I don't know who he is in this lifetime." And but it was actually Michael Aquino That's who it was. And so Chris Joe Hart will tell the story where she's told the story many times, because he called her. Basically, what happened is he went to this place in Warsaw, Poland, and he went into the program he went into, and he got in the astral plane, and he got into a battle with Michael Aquino. Michael Aquino became a scorpion and stung him, and then as a result, he got high fever. And I talked to Sarah Adams because Sarah called me, and I saw the text that, the conversation and stuff. He got 104 fever, he said, after this happened to him. And because Michael Aquino wrote a book called Mind Wars, and he believed that you don't fight your battles in the physical realm, you fight it in the spiritual realm. That all wars are fought in the astral plane.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was called Mind Wars. Michael Aquino wrote that book. So he was a scorpion, he told her, and he stung him. And then after that, everybody knows the story that Max, when he died, like within 24 hours later, he had black goo coming out of him, and but that's kind of what the story was. And but Max felt like he had to do what he did, and but he probably shouldn't have done that mission, okay, basically. But he knew that he was up against Michael Aquino. So I told him Michael Aquino was Satan in a human body, So Michael Aquino was the one that was over MONTAUK and over. Well, he wasn't actually over MONTAUK, but he did work with MONTAUK. He did join in with MONTAUK after the Presidio, where he was in California. If people don't know this, Michael Aquino was accused of pedophile and rape and of children and stuff, and he was a colonel, so he got charged with it, and he ended up getting all the charges dropped because it was a matter of national security. The government let him off the hook, and he wasn't charged with anything. But he ended up going to New York, MONTAUK, and working with the MONTAUK program for a while. And so he was involved with that, with Stuart Swerdlow and all those people. So, yeah. So it wasn't his actual thing, but he did work. And he also worked, in his resume, you can read in his book, he says...
No, Jack Pruitt had his hands on MONTAUK. That's why you can't really find him. He was director of that program for a while. Jack Pruitt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he also worked at Cheyenne Mountain, I think in 95 to 97. So that movie Stargate kind of, throws in this character that's like Michael Aquino that comes in and isn't working, he's working with the government and,
right.
Kind of throw shit in movies, yeah.
Timothy Leary was there dropping acid on. I know people personally, older individuals personally, who remember the acid house in MONTAUK, and I know exactly where it is. Like, I can remote view it right now. I can see it right now.
Yeah.
It's still got the paisley colors on the walls and in one of the rooms, and you could tell it was the acid house. I mean, at one, I got a picture of where the psychedelic paint was that they used. And it wasn't just made up stuff, like this shit was real. This was real.
Yeah. People really have, people have suffered. People have been put through programs. There's been all kinds of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there that a lot of people, people who go to work every day and, they don't know any of this stuff, or it's confusing, Rocco. But there's a physical world and there's a spiritual world, and it's all connected,
Yeah. And also the fact that how far back we can go and how, forward. If you listen to the interview I did with Arkeem, we talked a little bit about, he said 2077 and, having sex with robots. And I mean, let me tell you.
They're doing that now. I mean, they've been making humanoid robots for years.
Aren't they?
You can marry
get electrocuted? What? Wait. How do you have sex with a robot? Wouldn't it be like
No, I don't
sticking
know.
your
AI is
thing in
Like a
ball
blow up doll,
socket?
Brenda.
okay. Well, let's
Never
talk
a blow-up doll will not electrocute you.
Why don't
Well,
we
you
talk
know.
about the black market? Why don't we talk about the black web? You know, the dark web, and why don't
Oh
we
yeah,
talk
there's
about
that.
the aliens and the beings where people pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to watch these videos that they're making, sex videos of humans and it's horrible, and they're using people like me, they're using people like Arkeem, and then it's horrible. It's horrible.
Well, we've only got a few minutes left, Rocco. So, do you have any last thoughts or?
No, I just hope everybody is well and enjoying the evening, and kicking back and put on some music and enjoy the rest of my night.
Well, you need to go to sleep.
Actually, no, I do not need to go to sleep.
Oh,
I actually have to get back to book work.
oh, okay. Okay.
Book is very important.
Well, yeah, and you're almost done with it, so yay.
Yeah.
Yay. Good work. Good work.
Yeah.
So, Andy. Oh, wait a minute. Andy,
Yeah.
are you unmuted? Okay. Are you going to be on the same show as me tomorrow night?
Should be.
Okay.
It should be a lot of fun.
Tomorrow
Oh,
afternoon,
God.
you mean?
No,
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow,
You have a
yeah,
different show.
tomorrow
Right.
afternoon, we have our show again. Let me remind you, tomorrow at 3:00 in the afternoon Central Time, we will be having our show. We won't have one here tomorrow night because I'm going on a different show for the night.
Got a lot going on tomorrow, don't we?
I might. Oh God. Wow.
Okay.
I don't know. I might have to take up drinking or something. I don't know. For that show, you never know. It's it's way out there. So, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and go. I've got a.
Thank you, Rocco.
I got a few things to take care of. Yeah, thank you, Rocco, for coming and
Keep
filling
your
in
peace,
tonight.
Rocco, and just keep moving forward in the right direction.
All right. Well, all right. Have a good night.
All right,
right.
you too.
We'll see ya.
Good night.
All right, everybody. We
Good night, everybody.
are out of time, so we are going to get out of here. Now, I can say this. I don't really know if it'll do any good out there tonight, but like I always say, please be kind to one another. Y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.
Goodbye for now, from Beyond the Box.
Please join us again for Beyond the Box, Friday and Saturday evenings, from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern. Join us for more intel bombs from our extraordinary guests.
Good night, Putin. Good night, Tucker.